Thurman. Here. Councilman Brown.
Here.
Councilman Belushi.
Here.
Okay, at this time, we'll open up the meeting to privilege of the floor if anybody would like to speak. Okay.
Is the free store open yet?
No,
No?
it could be, there's things in it, but
Oh,
it needs to still have electricity brought to it, and it needs to have the walls put up, and shelving.
Why are we putting electricity in?
So people would have lights when they were in it working.
Is it that dark inside that you open the doors up and the sunshine does?
I guess we could, we don't need to have electricity in it. We'll only have it open during the day anyway.
Yeah. It's open gonna be open 3 days a week?
Yeah, it'll be open when the transfer station is open, Saturday, Sunday, and Wednesday. Deborah?
I'm gonna get closer to the microphone.
Yeah.
This is an email that was addressed to Visit Thurman,
Okay.
and I'll just read it. I don't think I need any background. I know that people must know that there was vandalism up there.
Yes,
Okay, so,
well, the board knows.
okay. To whom it may concern, more people know. Presumably this email will reach someone named Winnie and or the rest of the TCA. My name is, and I'm gonna leave that out. I purchased property as my primary residence in Thurman. I was perfectly happy to mind my own business and stay out of town politics, but a line has been crossed, my property line. I participated in the community farmers market yesterday, and as I understand it, the TCA has some bad blood with the woman running the youth commission for reasons that sound to me very stupid and petty. It seems extremely coincidental that some vandalism of the youth building and shed occurred last night, with the damaged items tossed into the woods on my property. I would like to think it was some random bored teenager, but in light of both the issues with the youth commission and fighting over wasted thousands of our tax dollars on some bullshit app, it looks targeted. If you all want to fight like children instead of working together as a community to make everyone's lives better, I cannot stop you. I'm sure running your own personal episode of Jerry Springer is very good entertainment for y'all. However, if this nonsense continues to infringe upon my personal liberties, damages items bought with my tax dollars, and litters on my property, we are going to have a problem, and my entertainment will be harassing the state and county until you're forcibly disbanded and defunded. Please note, my property has surveillance, and now there will certainly be more put up town hall side. So if you get any bright ideas about retaliation, that won't go well either. Get your shit together and conduct yourselves like adults. Life doesn't have to be this way. Have a day. And then he signs his name.
Well.
So what I wanted to ask, because like you said, who knows who all knows now? I mean, it's apparently out there.
Well, they have it on their property, that's why they probably know, but the only ones that I told was the board.
I'm not worried about who got told. What I'm worried about is this. Is there any thought by board members that would give credence to the notion that TCA or its members had anything to do with this?
None whatsoever.
That's all I needed. I
None
appreciate it.
It was a child, that we do know.
Okay.
The sheriff was called, we went through all the damage, and it was a child.
So, thanks. And
It
the
has
other
nothing
thing,
to do with TCA. I don't know why they would come up with that. And if they have surveillance, I'd really like to have that given to the sheriff.
I'm going to give this to Cynthia
Great.
because I read it, so she must want it in the record.
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I don't know if this is appropriate, I personally would appreciate it if the guy's name wasn't mentioned because
That's fine.
I don't want to get stuff
What
started.
about to the sheriff? Can it be mentioned to the sheriff?
This
Or-
guy?
Yeah,
Sure, that's
okay.
different.
Just in case they want to see the surveillance, because.
Right,
Mhm.
but what I don't want is more of the back and forth.
No, you're right, exactly. No, I don't know where that person would come up with that, but it was not adults and it was not a retribution. It was kids.
Good, thank you.
Apprehended
But
them?
also, if they can't leave their That don't mean anything to me.
Say
No,
that
he
one more
did
time.
put his
Did
name
you put his name
Yeah.
on it?
We just don't wanna publicize it.
No, right.
But I don't wanna
Well,
throw
then
him
you
under the
shouldn't drop the
bus.
wire then.
I just wanted to know if this was something that people were really thinking.
You gotta be transparent.
No.
So here it is, and
You can't hide it, you know what I mean? You need to put it.
If you saw the pictures of what was done, you would know that no adult did that. And there were things written, that's child handwriting. It's not, I don't know where that came from, that's out on that field.
okay, thanks.
Does anybody else wanna speak? Well, I'll wait for some people to come in. Thanks, though, I hope they have surveillance. Okay, so then, we'll go on to our resolutions, and the first resolution is to place an ad in the Post Star for the position of appointed assessor. Somebody wanna bring that to the floor?
I will.
Randy, okay, in a second. Charlie? Who was that, Brownie? Randy and
Randy.
Charlie. And Charlie? Yep. Whereas a 6-year term for our appointed assessor will end on September 30th, 2025, and we need to replace this important position prior to October 1st, 2025, be it resolved, the town board authorizes the placement of an advertisement in the Post Star that will read as follows. The town of Thurman is seeking letters of interest for an assessor position, a 6-year appointment beginning October 1st, 2025. For more information, please go to the town's website at www.thurmanny.gov or contact the town clerk. Her email is townclerk@thurmanny.gov. I kept it short because we pay by the word. And then when they contact, either our website will have things on there. Now, something new that I just received before the meeting, if you look in your packet, you'll see that I had typed up something for the assessor position, and I had this from Westlaw, the minimum requirements from the state. Well, I had contacted civil service and asked them if they had anything written up, and they told me they were working on it. And then I sent an email and said, my meeting's tomorrow night, I understand if you couldn't get it done, this is what I'm presenting, is it okay? And they said yes, but just recently, I did get a civil service description of the job. So we could go with this instead, because it will be a civil service position.
Yeah, well, they're looking at that, I gotta grab something.
Okay, is there anybody interested in also having a copy of this for the civil service heads? And I don't just, it sort of says the same thing, except mine went more into the educational requirements that would be coming after the position. But I think as far as what somebody would get when they're interested in applying should be what the civil service has. Just while they're reading it, I just want to leave it, that should be that one too, because that's what's still on the website.
We want this on the website?
Yeah, that would be part of what somebody would request.
Okay. Is there an electronic version or a link to it?
I have it in my computer, I could send it to you.
Okay,
I believe it's in Word.
okay, good.
I have two comments. One, from what I've read on the Real Property Tax Services website, new applicants have to fill out an application for qualifications review, and we have to submit that and
Right.
request that they confirm that they meet the requirements for education, experience, and everything.
Yep.
We've got limited time to pull this off, like 2 months before their term starts. And I don't know how long it takes for them to turn this review around.
I have all of that right here, if you want me to read it to you.
Sure enough, go for it.
Okay. The first thing we do is advertise in the paper. and put the notice on the website regarding the assessor position and the minimum qualifications, which is the revised one I just gave to Cynthia. Then we'll email those blank forms to the town clerk so she could forward them to any interested parties. As we get candidates, we'll interview them. Then we'll choose, you only choose one to fill that form out for. And send that in by our August regular meeting. They need 30 days to review that form that you're talking about. Right now, she said it's taking 5 days, but they are required to do it within 30. So if we can have a candidate by our August regular meeting, which I'm pretty sure is the 21st of the month, we send that over to them, then, and we verify the application, we send a cover letter with that form that you were just talking about, and any other supporting documentation. Once they give us the approval, then we can formally appoint the assessor, and hopefully by the September 18th meeting. If we have to give them the full 30 days, we may have to have another meeting or move our meeting to the 25th the following week. That would be more than 30 days, and we would be able to appoint in September for the October 1st start date. Does that help?
It does. My only reservation is that from now until the 17th is a pretty short time to get the word out that we're looking for people and to get a adequate pool of people to consider.
Okay. Would you rather we move our, because the way the weeks are falling, it's on, I think it's on, what day, can you have a calendar now? I think it's,
What day was it?
what's August meeting? No, go to August. Yeah, 21st.
First. We could move.
We could have a regular meeting to get the bills paid by the end of the month and have a special meeting on the 28th to do that, and that would still give us enough time. We'd still have 30 days. But it
If
give
we
you another
pass the
week.
resolution tonight, when will the ad go in the paper?
Putting it in after the meeting.
So,
But I have to start, I put it in the column and then now it'll give me the date once I start putting it in, so I can't tell you until a couple of days.
Couple of
I'm going
days.
tomorrow.
okay. So, if we change our meeting to the 28th and put an application deadline of the 27th,
Okay, for August.
so I would just add to the resolution that an application deadline to have their materials submitted.
It doesn't have a date for that, so whatever date you
And
want.
I think we need more than letters of interest. I think we actually need the information that, at the very minimum, I think we need the information that's asked for on here, because we need to assess whether they're actually already certified,
Mhm.
whether they meet the educational requirements and the experience requirements. So I think I would ask for more than what's here, just because, I mean, how are we
What
gonna
about
make
a
it?
regular town application? That has that type of stuff, or do you want it geared specifically to this position? Because we don't, I mean, we can give them that, but we only submit one.
Yeah, I guess I'm not suggesting they fill this out, I'm just suggesting that as a minimum, to effectively evaluate all the candidates, we need this information. Because if we just get a letter of interest, somebody could just, if we just say letter of interest and somebody sends it and says, yeah, I'm interested in the position, we don't know if they meet the requirements.
But they're gonna have this, and this spells it all out.
Fair enough.
It spells out everything that's on there and more.
Okay.
It has the state requirements, it has, I mean, this is 2 full pages of information.
If they state in their letter of interest that they meet those qualifications, then, yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe if we reworded this to say they submit a letter of interest stating that they meet those qualifications. Meet the minimum qualifications required by the state.
Okay, that, we could say that, must meet the minimum requirements as stated in the civil service, well, we could say, in the job description, as stated in the attached job description,
Okay,
is that good?
fair enough.
You write that down?
I am. meet the minimum qualifications as stated in the job description. We'll add that to this resolution and we'll add it to the ad.
And submitted by, August 27th. By close of business, August 27th.
Okay, and then we'll meet on the 28th. We'll have our, do you want to move the meeting or do you want to have 2 meetings?
Whatever you guys think, I'm flexible.
You got time to get the bills, 28th, right?
Yeah, we can still get the bills out.
Just that one meeting, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So far, we'll leave it at that. If I see anything that means we might have to meet twice, we'll do that. Okay. So our meeting then will be August 28th. Perfect. Okay. So I really think somewhere they ought to be made aware of all the classes they need to take, but I guess we could discuss that when we meet with them. Right. Anybody else have any other discussion on that? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? Perfect. The next resolution is to purchase a 6x12 or comparable size trailer for the transportation of the gleaning food. This came about because sometimes when it's raining, the boxes of the food get wet. And another issue is, well, I'll walk that out there.
Yeah, we get our hands slapped in school now.
Okay, so who wants to bring this to the floor?
I will.
Okay, Doug, and a second? Ed? Okay. Okay. Whereas the food for our gleaning and food pantry is currently picked up with the highway department's vehicle, and whereas this vehicle is not enclosed and is open to the elements during rain and snow, allowing the boxes and produce to get wet, and whereas the truck currently used will have a sander box on the back of it during the winter months, and it will be time consuming to remove the sander box and clean the truck bed sufficiently to transport food, be it resolved, the town board authorizes the purchase of a 6x12 or comparable size trailer in an amount not to exceed $6,000. This funding will come from, and we'll discuss the code after you look at the picture of the trailer here. This is one that's at Tractor Supply. They did see another one there that was $5,000. If you notice on the ad, one section says pick up nearby at Queensbury, New York, and then above that, out of stock at Queensbury, New York. So that's why I didn't list who it was gonna come from. But I do think we should have a enclosed trailer. It would be a general fund purchase, not a highway purchase, and it would be used to transport the food here, because I had no idea, but sometimes when it's raining, well, you probably know because you're here, the boxes get all wet. Oh, you hear that? The boxes get wet, and in the winter, it's gonna be a problem. So is there any other discussion you have on the trailer?
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
Refresh my memory, our purchasing policy, don't we have to bid anything over 5,000?
No.
No.
I got my ears in and the phone's ringing in my,
Oh,
my
I don't
God.
know what to do with this.
oh my
I
I
don't
thought you
know.
were talking to me.
I didn't know that happened.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't have that with me, but I'll look into that.
Yeah, I'm not certain of the amount, but I thought it was $5,000 that we have to bid it.
You want me to run up and get it? I have it
It's
upstairs.
up to you. The other question I have is, I'm wondering if something like this is on state contract,
Oh, okay.
because if it is, we wouldn't have to bid it.
Might be. We might want to put it on.
Well, this is not an emergency thing. We can table this and we can find out all that information and see, because we might be able to save a lot of money. Okay, so then that's what,
Do you need a motion to table it?
yeah.
I'll make a motion to table it.
That's a second.
Second?
Yeah, we'll table this until Second. Ed?
We have to vote still, don't we?
Yeah. Vote to table it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The next resolution is to rescind Resolution 43 from the previous meeting. Someone bring that to the floor.
I will.
Okay. In a second, Charlie?
Was that Ed? You
It
brought
was Doug and
Oh,
Charlie.
Doug, okay.
Whereas at the July 17th regular meeting, this resolution was adopted without the majority of eligible voting members, be it resolved, Resolution 43 is hereby rescinded.
Before we actually vote on this, could I read something?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so, at the last board meeting, I voted on a resolution that I shouldn't have. Supervisor Runyon sent me a email sometime after that, and I sent a response to the town board, and, I didn't hear any response back to it, but I just wanted to read this into the record. So, what I wrote was Supervisor Runyon and town board members, I agree with Supervisor Runyon that I should not have voted on the resolution to award occupancy tax funds to the TCA. This was a lapse in ethical judgment that I regret, and I would like to apologize to the town board, the members of the TCA, and the citizens of Thurman. You all have a right to expect better of your elected officials and should be able to trust that we will act in the best interests of our town. I am sorry that I failed in my responsibility in that regard, and I will strive to act in a more ethical manner in the future. I just wanted people to be aware of that.
Can I have that, Randy?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
Yes, you abstained?
Next resolution is bringing forward the revised grant application for TSA. It's a resolution to award TSA additional occupancy tax funds as referenced in the attached revised grant application. And I don't know if your packet has the grant in it, it should. But you probably all remember it now. Okay, someone want to bring that to the floor?
I will.
Sure.
There were two people talk at once.
Doug,
Doug, Doug seconded it. Ed seconded it, all right. Whereas TSA submitted a revised grant application for the Thurman Fall Farm Tour event in the amount of $18,725, of which $8,000 has already been approved and delivered. Be it resolved, the town board will grant additional occupancy tax funding in the amount of, and the note was blank there for now. Okay. So just a few things that I wanted to bring up. When it comes to the occupancy tax funding, and I just have like 10 quick sentences here, the $30,000 is a contract between the Warren County and the towns. It's not dependent on any events held in Thurman. The $20,000 additional funding is voted on by the Warren County Board of Supervisors. Every month they receive an occupancy tax report from the Treasurer's Office and the Tourism Director, and that is taken into consideration when they vote. It is also not dependent on events held in Thurman. The additional funding, $6,474 we received in 2025, is based on our actual occupancy tax raised solely in the town of Thurman. The two TSA events, Maple Days and Fall Farm Tour, raise occupancy tax for the county and for whatever town that the visitors sleep in. It has a minimal effect on the occupancy tax Thurman receives. The Thurman Town Board has a responsibility to vote in the best interest of the town and Thurman residents. There are two primary ways to bring in additional occupancy tax to Thurman. One is to have events on more days of the year, And the second way is to use occupancy tax funding for capital projects that will bring visitors year-round. I would like to encourage residents to apply for occupancy tax funding for new events. That is the true purpose of occupancy tax, to increase visitors to our area throughout the year and not just to bring in more visitors on the same 2 weekends. I would like to propose that we allocate occupancy tax funding to an observatory building above the transfer station and a larger pavilion at the rec field, which would not only bring visitors year-round, but could also be a potential revenue source to the town. These projects could both be supplemented partially with grants, either from the county or other sources. In conclusion, my suggestion is to award no additional funding to a well-known, well-established event, and to bring the occupancy tax funding to the growth of new events and long-term capital projects. For an example of the amount of money that other towns get, which includes the money raised by the people who come to these events but sleep elsewhere. Bolton, for example, gets $348,000 compared to our $6,000. Lake George gets $455,000 additional funds. Lake George Village gets $299,000 additional funds, and Queensbury gets $268,000 additional funds. So when the heads and beds are not sleeping here, though, that's the kind of money that goes to those other towns. And so now I'll just open it up to any other discussion from the board members. Does anybody, I know it's not privilege of the floor, but does there anybody that wants to make a comment out from the floor?
The pavilion at the Veterans Field, what's that for?
Well, right now, it's only used primarily for summer concerts, but it's
Okay.
for people who wanna have a party there, who wanna reserve the rec field for an event. It's used for the farmer market, and that's pretty much it up there now.
So, how many people actually use it, other than for the concerts?
Well, the youth uses it, farmer market people use it,
But how many people is that?
I wouldn't know. It's used for parties, people who reserve it because we no longer rent the town hall. So all of the people that would have normally rented the town hall go there.
You don't rent the town hall out anymore?
Nope, too much damage happening in here. They had, broke the well cover out there, just recently had that fixed. They did some things over in the highway garage, and I watched the video camera of that particular party. I saw children flinging the books from one bookshelf to the other across the room. I saw children on the chairs that roll being flung across in here.
So why weren't they brought to task, if you know who did it? I mean, it seems to me you're using a shotgun approach for our town hall. So you've got a couple of bad apples that came down there and caused damage and vandalism, so you're gonna punish everybody.
Well, the thing was, we tried to have a do not rent to them anymore list, but then they just had someone else rent it and they still attended the party.
So, but you didn't answer my question. If you know who was throwing the books around and the chairs and doing damage over to the town shed, why weren't they brought to task? I mean, you called the sheriff's department about the youth building. Why wasn't, why didn't you go after them?
To do what? We did have one come in who gave us some money for the damage that they did, but that was my problem. I only happened to watch that video because of something that happened outside. For me to know that they're messing around with the American flag or going behind the judge's bench, I would have to watch the video for every single party, which is hours long. And that was my suggestion. Who amongst us wants to sit and watch that couple of hours of it? You have to sit there and watch the camera to know what happened. It was just
Say I rent the town hall, and there's some damage done in the town hall. Now, you know that I rented it. You don't check after I've left to make sure it's clean?
Yeah, it was perfectly clean. You wouldn't know. Of course, they cleaned all the books up, they fixed the flag, they did all that. So when you come in,
How do
it
you
looks
know that?
fine. How would you know unless,
How did you know that they did that?
because something happened outside that caused me to wanna watch the camera for that particular event, and that's when I saw it.
So, that type of vandalism is no different than the youth building up there. It's against the law to cause vandalism.
If they clean it all up, I would never know.
But you knew there was damage done outside, and yet you didn't call the authorities. Or you didn't confront them.
Oh, yeah, they were talked to.
So did they pay?
The one person did. Mhm.
So because they raised damage here, you're gonna punish the whole town for our town hall. It doesn't make any sense.
How are we gonna know? How are we gonna know the damage happens? We would have to watch that video for hours after every single party.
So what's the use of having the cameras? You could just do that time period.
It's hours. You'd have to watch it for hours. I don't understand. Who's
I
gonna?
don't understand where you're gonna prevent people from renting their town hall because you had a few bad apples. You're gonna stop people from renting the pavilion because somebody broke into the youth building up there? It doesn't make any sense. The other comment I got is about your observatory. How many people are actually going to use that? And why do you wanna sit in the building and look at the stars? That doesn't make any sense either, Deb.
I think a lot of people would use it.
But you don't know.
Might not to you, but a lot of people I hear from do want it.
They're already going up there. Yes?
What time frame would it be to get the observatory or the other structure installed? What costs are we looking at? What's the time frame for engineers, contractors, building permits, stuff like that? What's the time frame for all that look like?
Well, I know that the building would be a pre-built building. We wouldn't need an engineer for that. It's pre-built, it's already engineered. And I don't know the time frame. This is all just discussion. It was brought up that people would like to have that.
Mhm.
And I do know that the county would be willing to help pay for that, so.
So if the county's occupancy tax would help cover that, why do we need to withhold the funds from Thurman's OT?
It would
Or
be a
the vendor's
match.
money?
It would be a financial, we'd have to match it.
Is that planned for this fiscal year?
Yes. The application period will start next month. To
So
apply.
will the construction happen this year though?
It depends on the company building creating the building, when they would be able to bring it.
So the occupancy tax currently in the funds will be withheld from TCA for a potential future project that hasn't been bid out, there's no time frame, and there's no guarantee of funds.
Well, I believe there is a fairly certain guarantee of the funds, and there doesn't need to be a time frame. As soon as I would know what the grant would be, I'd match that and order the building, so.
Okay, and is it guaranteed that the people coming into that are gonna stay in Thurman? Because it sounds like you're trying to increase the OT that's coming straight from heads and beds here in Thurman. What's to say those folks aren't just gonna be staying in Lake George?
Well, they could stay wherever they want to, but that could also mean we could rent that building out to astronomy classes, science classes, 4-H, scouts.
Does that go to the OT? Does renting out a building like that go to OT? I just don't know.
If they were to rent it, no, that would be revenue to the town.
Okay, so the observatory may or may not increase or contribute to the OT for the town, but the TCA's event is known to do that.
If they stay in a short-term rental, which is pretty much the only money that we do get.
And that's probably why Bolton and Lake George have significantly higher numbers than Thurman does. It's because they have far more
Hotels.
beds.
Right. Mhm.
So it may not be the most fairest comparison between Thurman and Bolton because it's a very different type of housing availability for.
Right, well, no, my point was bringing more people to Thurman who don't sleep here is giving those towns more occupancy tax and doesn't really do a whole lot for us.
But do we know that people coming to the observatory are gonna sleep here?
They could.
They could, but,
Right.
and in the observatory, again, if there's no timeline for that to be constructed, we don't know how that's going to affect the OT revenue for Thurman in the short term.
How could you?
Right. But we're gonna withhold funds from an event that's happening this year.
My opinion, to hold the funds has nothing to do with that. I feel that this TSA has received all the occupancy tax funding going way back in time. You can go back 25 years or more. They controlled that funding way back when. And this is the first year, if this happens now, it'll be the first time occupancy tax goes to other things besides TSA.
That's not quite correct. There's been other events throughout the town. I mean, occupancy tax, I believe, pays for the concerts. Am I incorrect there? And
Yeah, but now, only since 2021 did the town hire the bands. TSA handled the summer concerts previously.
That's incorrect. We did handle it for a few years, but prior to that, the town did hire them. We were asked by the board at one point to handle the applications
Mhm.
for the occupancy tax and to hire the bands. We did it as a courtesy to help the town. It's not like we went out looking
No,
for
I know
this
that.
extra
I know
work.
that. No, it was
But-
done
but-
willingly.
But I don't want the misinformation given out there that all the money from occupancy tax has always gone to TCA. Now, it wasn't the historian, but the historical society used to have Fiddler's Jamboree, and I believe occupancy tax paid for that. I believe occupancy taxes paid a bit for the garage sale. I believe occupancy taxes paid a bit for the Jack Wax dinner. I believe it paid a bit for the Christmas bazaar. Now, I'm not positive all those, but I'm pretty sure
I
it
don't know about
has.
the Christmas bazaar, but I do know
No, they did not.
the other things.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm wrong about the Christmas bazaar, but I'm pretty sure the garage sale, and I'm pretty sure the Jack Wax.
And the Jamboree, which I'd like to bring back Old Homes Day and have like an artisan craft thing
Okay,
up
I
there.
don't mean to interrupt you, but
That's fine.
the point that TCA is the only recipient of the occupancy tax is not correct.
I went back to 2016, that's as far back as I could go in our records, because prior to that, we are only obligated to keep 7 years. So back to 2016, where I think it was perky then, it was $30,000 check in, $30,000 check out. That's to TCA.
We were handling the eligibility of it. We were reviewing the grants for a while, again, based on the town board's request that we
Right.
handle it, because the town board did not feel qualified to decide who was eligible and who wasn't eligible.
Right,
After a while, we felt that there was a conflict of interest, so we asked people that were in the community, not associated with the events, not associated with TCA, to be on the committee to review it. So it might have been on paper that we were doing it, but we were not getting the money. And when you say that we get the money as an umbrella. And I
right.
mean, I don't know how else to word it, but it's not like one entity getting the money. We get it for an event, for other sites, for other farms, for other businesses in town, and individuals. It's not just, and TCA doesn't get the money. TCA gets nothing. TCA handles the money to advertise for event that benefits the people in town.
The members in town, right?
No, we welcome anybody. We've had individuals be part of the TCA. I'm sorry, we've had individual homes. Because if you've got a place and you want people to come because you have a gorgeous garden, because you have a railroad collection in your house, if you've got a collection, if you've got a passion, if you've got a hobby and you want to share it, we welcome you to be part of our tour. We've had single family individuals that were not businesses that shared their home and let people wander through their wildlife trails. Not a home, not a business, no profit, just they wanted to share it. We've had the churches be part of it. They were actual sites of the Fall Farm Tour. We had Dippikill was an actual site of the Fall Farm Tour. We've had, now the Firehouse has not been a site of the Fall Farm Tour, but they offered the chicken barbecues for us both here at the town hall and at one of the sites. So it's not like TCA, or it's not like a group of people getting the money. We channel the money in and we advertise for different individuals, different sites, different businesses in town. And a lot of the people that are now, well, I shouldn't say a lot of the people, but you've mentioned a particular, I don't want to throw names out, but you've mentioned a particular event, a couple events that are being held this year that were new events. They started out, and they still are, they're part of TCA. I don't think they would have ever had an event on their own if they hadn't seen how well the event brings people to their place of business through one of our events.
Well, right now, as of right now, TSA has gotten $26,000, which is more than half of what we bring in. And there are people who want to do events, so where should their money come from?
Do you have actual new applications right now? Do you have people that have applied right now?
Well, they've already gotten, 3 of them have already gotten their money, but if there is no, if, it's just not as fair as it should be, because when people want something, like this was the first year I ever understood that your members did not get banners, porta-johns, signs, ads in the newspaper. That's denied, and that's stuff that they want and need, so
What-
they can come to us and get those things.
What we do, again, no, we look at the event as a whole. We don't give individual, we don't give individual benefits to the farms. I don't have a sign at Martin's Lumber. If I want a sign at Martin's Lumber, I make my own sign and I put it out. Now, some of the businesses have their signs, so they use their sign, but if somebody else wants a sign, they make it, or they buy it, or they pay for it. TCA does not get money for individual sites.
But-
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that, if you remember when you came in, when you specifically came in for money for, I think it was Maple Days, remember? And I said, we have money, we'll put 3,000 more on top of that, and gave more money. But if we're gonna do that, I mean, these people want other things. They wanna have separate events, and I would prefer to see some capital projects that bring in revenue, not just op tax money, but revenue to the town too. With that money, bringing in tourists.
Well, what you just said, separate events, but what I just said, the friends of mine had an event already this summer. They've got another event coming up this month.
Right.
They never had an event prior to this other than under the TCA umbrella. I can't say for sure, but I've got my doubts that they would have ever had their own private event without the experience of being under the umbrella of TCA, without inviting them. We did. I went to their house. I said, don't you want to be a part of our event? Don't you want to be in the Fall Farm Tour? And that's how they became involved in the events. It went so well that they're having their own. That's fine, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't start out on their own, they started with us, and that's what we're doing. We encourage, just what you're saying, we encourage other people to have an event, to get people, to get them in this, to have an event at their own place. And
And
that's
not
what-
just people though, as a town, I would really like to bring back Old Homes Day. I would really like to bring back the artisan crafting that used to go on up there at the rec field. I went to it many years ago, where all these people had things that they made here, and tourists came, it was advertised, and a lot of people in the community were up there. Well, that's gonna take money too, and I just feel TCA has more than half the money we brought in. Why can't some of that money go toward furthering events that other people might wanna have?
That was not me that talked to you about Maple Days, so, because I don't handle Maple Days, but again, when we asked for this money this year, it was a lot more money than we've ever asked for before.
Mhm.
Because since COVID, You have come to me, so for the past 5 or 6 years, you've come to me and said to me and other members of TCA, ask for more money, we've got money, ask for more money.
Right.
And I haven't. I shouldn't say I haven't.
Well, no, it's increased.
It's increased,
Mhm.
but not drastically, not like this year, but you've continually said to me, ask for more money. I wouldn't ask for more money just to get more money, just to spend it for no reason. I won't throw money away, I won't do that. I'm too frugal, I don't do it. But this past year, we had the opportunity to just explode with our advertising. I mean, we've hired somebody who's terrific with the advertising. So this year, we negotiated with him, we've contracted with him in good faith, assuming we would get this money that you continually asked us to ask for. Now granted, we should not have assumed. We should have gone to you and said, is there still a lot of money available? We didn't. But you blindsided us at the June board meeting when we asked for this and you said no. You said we're cutting it, we're gonna, so over the years, I won't say you begged for us, but you basically have said, ask for more money.
Mhm.
We've got the money.
And now it's
And now-
dwindling. Now that surplus is dwindling, and now I also understand more about how it works, because it was my understanding that all of our OCTAX money was a direct result from your events, and it is not. 50,000 of it is not. I always thought that it was. It was 2 huge events, brought in all this money, that's great. You should be able to spend that then, because you're bringing it in, but you're not bringing it in, that we get it automatically. We're getting from, so the more people you bring in for that weekend does nothing for the town of Thurman.
That's not true.
What does it do?
It puts people in hotels in Lake George.
Right.
Yeah.
It does it for the county.
Wait a second.
Oh, it does, it's not Thurman, Gary. Thurman,
So
Thurman is
indirectly,
Thurman, Lake
these
George,
events are bringing
Lake
money
George.
to
It
the
does not help our town revenue at all, any of these businesses. How does it help bring revenue to our town, other than your business?
Occupancy.
That's my question, I've asked you that the last time, and I also asked you, how much of your own money do you
Well, that's
businesses
fine.
invest? I don't ever see them figures, you know?
You're not privileged to see my figures,
Well,
Ned.
that's fine, what about your organization?
I'm just,
How is that set up?
I would like to just I would like to use the money. I mean, we fund it. You asked for 13,000, and we approved 8. The other 10 was totally not a normal request.
No,
So
we know it wasn't.
we didn't know that was coming either. But for my point of view, I feel I have to vote for what is best for the town, not the county and not other towns where they're going to sleep. This town. And I think that a new pavilion that's bigger than that we can have things there. I've seen towns that are renting their pavilions out for weddings, they're gorgeous, they're way bigger than ours, and they're taller than ours. And I think that and the county even agrees with me on the observatory, they're very excited about it. I'm sure I'm gonna be getting that funding.
So let me ask you, how's that gonna bring OT money in? How's that gonna do that?
When tourists come to use it.
You can't collect OT money for an observatory
No.
or your pavilion.
I can
Any more
if they
than we
sleep
can.
here in a short-term rental or the Glen, then that will bring money in. That $6,474 is only people who've slept in Thurman. We could increase
I
that,
understand that, that's how OT is generated,
right,
heads and beds.
right. So in other times of the year, besides March and October, people could be coming then.
So let me ask you this, have you done a business plan to see exactly, to get an estimate of how much revenue you're talking? And who's gonna run the observatory up there? How do you do that?
We can, it just has to open up. It could be done by anybody, we can
Can't run a
assign
business
something.
like that.
Yeah.
If you've had such a problem with vandalism of town property that you discussed earlier in this meeting, do you not worry about vandalism of an observatory that's gonna be unmanned if it's not gonna be staffed? And how is the town gonna pay to repair something so expensive?
Well, it's just there's nothing in that building. It's an empty building and it's not going to be run by little children who have no supervision, like what happens here during the parties.
How will that be, like, regulated and overseen by the town?
We could put somebody up there to do it. I wouldn't even mind doing it myself, going up
Will
there.
that be a new position created through civil service?
What?
Will that be like a new civil service position created for the town? Or will it eat into other requirements, other duties by town officials?
Well, we could hire somebody if it was that big of a need that we would want somebody there, but I wouldn't mind doing it. Would you mind being up there? No. So we could volunteer to be up there.
There's people in the society that would volunteer to run.
People who have an interest in it wouldn't mind doing it. And as far as the vandalism, I mean, I know that, you know, there's certain things that are happening in this town hall. We have all these pictures that Myra's hung. They're very expensive, some of them. Our quilt right there is chipped. There's tape on it from people hanging balloons in here, stuff like that. Up at the pavilion, it doesn't matter if they hang balloons. It doesn't matter if they put thumbtacks in the but in here it does matter. So it's not like that's going to be a problem. Deborah?
I have a self-serving question here. Will the free store, the Thurman Free Store, still be allowed to use this space? twice a year?
Oh yeah, it's not restricted from any type of town events. I mean, the quilters can still come, the Christmas bazaar, anything like that, anything that's town oriented, has adults, is fine. We're not stopping meetings from happening in here. It's mostly the children parties that are a problem. I just gotta get her first and then I'll get
I'm confused about why you need a building to look at the stars. I don't get what you have in mind up there.
Can I ask a secondary question about that? I saw on television, I don't know what you would call it, but an observatory that was not a huge thing, a commercial thing, but you know, a thing that you have in your own backyard. And it had a telescope in it, and it had different things. Is this what you're talking about, or are you talking about just a building?
It's a building designed for people who use telescopes. The roof slides to the side, opens up, the walls fold down. It has a little room that's a warming room that you can store your like if we were to buy our own telescopes too and allow people to use them, they would stay in that room. And it covers a pavilion so that you could be having, it would be happening at night, so, you know, it wouldn't be really a daytime thing, I don't think, but, yeah, it's not like that little round Hubble looking thing that's, I don't know if that's what you saw, and it has like a tunnel on it, like you can look out.
Yeah, I think that's.
It's small, very small, like
Yeah.
10 by 10, no, this is bigger than that, and it's to attract, because so many people
How
now
much
are
does it
interested in
cost?
it. It costs about between $10,000 and $12,000 for the building.
That's not what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and then there's extra money to pour the concrete foundation and you'd have to run electric to it.
How big a building is this and how many people can use it at one time?
It's probably, I think it's like 10 by 15, the building. And it depends on if you want the warming room or not. There's all different kinds you can get. So depending on the size would be the people. But I would gear it more toward like a 4-H astronomy class or science. They have one somewhere north of here, maybe Tupper Lake somewhere. What is it? Yeah, and that's what they do. I mean,
And do
you
they
know.
staff it?
Hmm?
Do they staff it?
I don't know. Do you know if they staff it? But regardless of what it is, I would just like to have the money available to do other big things. And I'm hearing a lot of people who want to see Old Home Days come back, and that's a big major event.
So,
Have you ever been to it?
let me make sure I understand before I answer the question. If you were to bring Old Home Days back, that would happen in 2026. Could
Or
you
the
get it up?
fall? It could be in the fall.
But, oh, you mean this fall?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So it could happen really soon.
yeah.
And so, but, okay, so is there, forgive me, because I'm confused about this. Is there a proposal for it?
Well, the town would do it. We would put the event on. We wouldn't have someone else applying to put the event on. We would be using the occupancy tax to put the event on ourselves, just like we do with the summer
So the
concerts.
town doesn't have to apply for OT, it can just,
We can use our
Take it.
funds.
got it.
Yeah. We could use our funds to do things for the town that helps the community, but also brings other people to it. That, I never went to Old Homestead, I'll be right with you, but I heard it was really big, and like they had a Ferris, it was sort of similar to what Lawrenceburg just put on.
So what is-
Smoky Jamboree, although that's a fundraiser though. That's a
So,
fundraiser.
I'm sorry, forgive me because I'm slow, but this is August, and you could get something up and running by the fall for Old Homestead.
I don't see why we couldn't.
And so, if you got the money for that, and you got the money for the, thank you, for the observatory, do you know a ballpark of what that would cost to have those two funded?
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Do you think there would be enough money left over, though, to fund it, or does it need? Okay, I probably should stop asking questions, because I really don't quite understand this. You wanna keep a reserve of funds.
Well, I need to start the year with enough to do Maple Days and, hmm? And, well, the concerts too, because our money comes in October, the bulk of our money comes in October. So whatever we'll spend between now and the end of the year, come March, we need funding for the events that are gonna start.
So that's what that money's for.
That's what the reserve does.
I see.
Gets you through that huddle till you get it at the end of the next year. Yeah. And Brian, I'm sorry, I forgot you.
That's all right. A question was asked about, will there still be a free store in town hall?
Oh, yeah.
For what?
Well,
You just bought a $9,000 building that's open
yeah,
over
but
1,000 hours a year. What are you gonna put in here that isn't acceptable for that
way
building?
more than what would fit in that building. That's a 2-day event, and this building, and Rennie can tell you, this building is, and so can you, because you've been here for it, this room and that room and the yard is packed. There's so much
I
stuff.
understand that.
Yeah.
Why did we buy a building? If you're gonna still do it here, why did we buy a building?
Well, this one is for dropping off and picking up, but the one up there is because, and you can even ask Ed, because he works there, so much good stuff gets thrown away, and if we had a room to put it in, where people could just, he'll see fans, air conditioner, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, instead of throwing it out, it goes in that building, and people can just come when the dump is open and take what they want
And I
out.
want to add to that, the Thurman Free Store that happens twice a year, we do it for 2 days, twice a year. People want to do stuff, they want to get rid of stuff, they want to get stuff other times of the year, and they ask us about it. We get inquiries, are you doing it now, are you doing it now? No, we're not doing it now, we'll do it in September. Well, in September, they've done something else with their stuff. So to have something that's open all the time, a place that they can just put their stuff in, makes some sense to me.
We've gotten rid of quite a bit of stuff already, and we're not really open, stuff that comes in. I save everything I can.
Instead of putting it in a dump and paying by the pound to get rid of it. I mean, how many fishing poles? I mean, you have a lot of fishing poles. Beautiful table and chairs. We can hold furniture in that building temporarily. And here, you can't take furniture.
We won't.
But you can have
We
furniture
could,
in
but we
there.
don't want to deal with it
They
after
can
the fact.
take a picture of the large stuff and put it on our bulletin board and leave their contact information. We've been doing that.
Yeah.
That works fine too.
Yeah. It's just a play, and that was paid for with ARPA money, not tax money, anyway, but,
I just want to make an observation about occupancy tax in the county. Even if people are sleeping in Lake George or Bolton, the money goes to the county and a portion of it comes back to us. It's not about how many heads are in beds in Thurman, it's about the whole county. And as I understood some years ago when I worked with the county, that the more pins they had in the county map, the the better their tourism picture was. Whether it per se generated income for a specific event,
Yeah.
not necessarily true. It's presenting a bigger picture of county tourism.
And Thurman gets more money in OT than they send out. We get more money, it's not
We
like.
get more money than is raised here.
So-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do. But we get it regardless of any events.
Right.
Right.
It's a great opportunity for us to build some community here, to have events that we can socialize around.
Right, right. There's a
So
lot-
I guess I just have one strong request from me, and that's this. I recognize that there was an expectation based on previous disbursements of funds that this would be no problem, that the money that was being asked for this year would be no problem, and people feel blindsided now.
Well, the
because-
$10,000, we weren't expecting, that wasn't for farm board, that was separate.
So when did it come? I don't wanna do that, sorry. So you got blindsided by the amount, and you decided you're not doing that.
I decided that it wasn't in the best interest of Thurman, that the money
Right.
could be better used to create these two capital projects and to bring back there's other people who want other things, they want Old Homestead back.
So let me ask, if you don't do Old Homestay, will you then consider giving the money to TCA if that money doesn't get used? Or will it just sit in a pot?
No, it's not, no, I wanna do something in the fall, I wanna do something big here in the fall.
And so what I'm asking is if something doesn't happen and that money doesn't get spent, will it go to TCA or can it go to TCA?
I think that the fact that they already have more than half our income, more than half our occupancy tax should be enough.
I hear you say more than half should be enough. They do more than half of the events. And frankly, I mean, I don't know, I saw the other day, somebody posted in asking about the concert, said 15 people were there.
It depends on the band. Some bands have big followers and some don't.
Okay,
You know, if you go to Whiskey River or Stony Creek Band or Luster Kings, it's gonna be packed, which you would know
Yes.
because you go to them. It depends on the band,
Right.
so.
Dan, I'd just like to say too that expanding the pavilion is a good idea. And also where the band plays, that's really small. If you go to Stony Creek, sometimes there are like 6 people in the band and that's not really big enough. So it does need
Needs a lot.
Well, what I've seen, and I'm gonna go around and measure them, is I'm gonna go to the Warrensburg Pavilion, the Stony Creek, and then I heard Minerva has a really beautiful pavilion. And I'm gonna measure that, and my first thought was to put a new, larger pavilion further in the back.
Yes.
But then someone brought it to my attention, and they're absolutely right, it would be much better to take the one down that we have and extend it, because you can see it from the road. So if we were to decorate it or do something bigger with it, it's obvious from the street instead of being in the back. And as far as the vandalism, you're right there on the road. I know there are a few people now, ever since that vandalism happened, and the sheriff also is making a loop here at night. And there are a couple people, summer employees here, who are also going up there, making a loop and just checking. And some of the highway department also going up on this side so that they can see without being seen and checking it too. So we are monitoring frequently during the night. These people, I don't know who they were, but they unplugged the lights to the bandstand. I think they thought they were unplugging the camera there. And they also got into the electrical panel box and turned on those big floodlights, which I didn't even know still worked. Remember at the concert, there's no light? Well, now I know they do work.
but they
So we'll
figured
have
out-
lights now.
They figured out who it was, right?
No, we don't know because we did have some image where the person walked like this.
But you knew it was a young person. I
It
guess.
just, yeah,
I see.
yeah, that's how we know that that thing you got is frivolous. Doesn't mean anything.
It's malicious, it's
Yes,
more than
yeah, that's a
frivolous.
better word, yes, it is. It's unfounded, so.
Yeah. Also, use some lights on the road coming down from the pavilion. On the right-hand side, that's rather steep, some kind of reflecting poles or, you know, even
Well, I think with
solar.
those two that are gonna be on now, you're gonna see that whole area lit up. And we also have, two telephone poles coming. One will be on either, that's occupancy tax too. They're gonna be on either end of, like where the porta-john is and where the garden is. They're going to have motion lights that shine both down at the parking lot, and they're gonna have cameras on them. So you'll have a lot of light, and I'll be up there Monday to turn them on, and then I'll come up, or if I stay here to work, whatever, I'll be there to shut them off at night, so. And I think a big pavilion is a good idea, but it's also extremely expensive, and I do have a picture here of one. I don't know if you can see it from there, but that's a really nice pavilion.
Can I go get it?
Yeah, you can pass it around.
Yeah.
Not the pool, we're not getting the pool. I got enough for the insurance company over the sliding board.
Oh.
They want that down.
It would be nice. I think the vans would love it because it's kind of embarrassing to go to other towns and then they come here and it's shabby. And because of that little house, there's always someone behind the pole that you can't see the guitar player. It's
Yeah,
cracked pavement for dancing.
I think we could do so much with it though, as far as revenue and bringing people here, you know?
So I wanna say, I like the picture. I think it's gorgeous. I'd love to see it in Thurman, and I still wanna see TCA fully funded for this year.
Mhm.
Maybe some other arrangement for next year, but for this year,
Just an idea.
to get things taken care of. Oh,
I'm telling him, he needs an opportunity too.
As I understand, one of the principal reasons, I could be off here, but one of the principal reasons TCA is looking for additional funding was to develop this map app and to do a better job with the website. And it seemed to me like a really good platform for advertising. It could cover the whole town, and I realize there's some gamble. It's in development, it might
Right.
flop, but it might be really good for all the projects that we talk about.
Mm.
Putting a pin in the map of the observatory, or
Well,
concerts, etc. So it seems to me that was ill presented maybe to us.
I think that it's a big enough project that, and I have talked to Winnie about that, apply to the county. They're benefiting greatly from what you do. And I'm sure that you have no problem getting your funding there.
but it's too late for now.
It's too late, but it's gonna open up.
Oh, yeah, but it's too late for now. And this is the only thing I'm concerned about is now.
But why
That's
is it too
too-
late when your event's not till October?
You
It's only
checked
for next
with, you checked with the town for the farm tour, you said it was too, or you checked with the county? Cause you were gonna go to the
For
county.
that opening that would have occurred, but
For this, yeah,
But couldn't you try for, you might get your money later, you might have to put it out and then get reimbursed, but
I'm getting so confused.
No, this
between now
application
and-
cycle that's coming up is from next year.
We
It
can't-
wouldn't fund anything for this year.
Right, because you had suggested, right from the beginning, and I mean, it was great, you suggested that we go to the county for
right.
funding. So we checked into the dates, it's two, and then you double checked for us.
Yes, when does it open up though? I didn't
I
ask.
believe it opens up next
I thought it
month
was,
or October.
I thought
maybe
in
not.
August it opened up.
No, I don't think so, I think it's October.
Maybe then it's
Or-
only municipalities that it opens up?
Or is it
No,
August?
no. It's sometime in August through sometime in September. I don't know the exact dates.
But for the following year, so
Yes.
we can apply in August for like it's a short window. It's like weeks,
Mhm.
so we can apply, but it's not until, for money for 2026, so it's too
You
late.
wouldn't get any money now.
Right,
It's
so-
all farm tour this year.
Right,
Right.
so it's like all the money from the county is gone
Mhm.
until we apply for next year. You've still got the money for this year and you're not gonna be spending it on the observatory yet, you don't have plans for it yet. We're gonna apply at the county for 2026 Maple Days. We'll certainly try applying for the 2026 Fall Farm Tour also. But I mean, it's like I'm getting confused as far as dates, so I can't even begin to think about 2026 Fall Farm Tour because I'm thinking about this one, which is what we're talking about tonight, and which I'm thoroughly confused about, because you're talking about the money for future events, but you don't have anybody that's asked for them. You're talking about
I don't
money.
need anyone to ask for them. I want us to do it. I want the town board.
Oh, I thought you,
To do
okay,
it.
because you had
I'd
said.
like other people to do it too. I'd like it to go to new events too, and bring more people in throughout the year. For Fall Farm Tour, to bring more people here doesn't benefit Thurman.
Yes, it does, and
How?
that's the thing.
How?
Because when people come here for the Fall Farm Tour, some of them actually put heads in beds somewhere else, right?
Right.
That's occupancy tax money that we get eventually. We don't get OT money from, well, we get some of it from our stuff, but we get more than what we generate in Thurman.
Yes, we do.
So it does benefit when we have somebody coming to Fall Farm Tour that stays in Warrensburg or Lake George.
We get the 50,000 even if nothing happened.
Because we brought them in. You're getting, okay, that's a great point.
Because we're a town in the county, that's all.
We don't, nobody who collects the occupancy tax keeps that money. It goes to the county and then it's doled out.
Right.
So in the long run, we're probably making out better than any of the other counties because we're bringing in little. Look at the amount of
Our numbers is pretty
occupancy
small.
tax that's brought in from Thurman compared that's brought in from Lake George. And we still get a lot. Not compared to Lake
Every
George.
town gets the 30 and the 20.
Right, and so the people that are paying the occupancy tax in Lake George are paying it in Lake George because they came to Thurman Fall Farm Tour, or because they came to Thurman Maple
Well,
Days.
they went to a lot of, they don't come here on vacation to go to one thing. They're going to a lot of things. So you would have to separate that op tax out into every single thing they went to.
Of course, but that's what we're doing, we're bringing heads and beds. And just to make another point, years ago, I looked at a pie chart and I was floored because the pie chart of my tax money in Warren County that went to tourism was huge. Now, I can't tell you how much, but it was huge. Later on, so that was your tax dollars, that was
It's only occupancy tax. and
that was
tourism.
before occupancy tax.
Oh, well, that's.
Be-
well,
Yeah, but wait, what I'm saying is before occupancy tax, before the hotels started collecting money, our tax dollars, my tax dollars, your tax dollars, paid for Warren County tourism. And that pie, the chart of that pie, the piece of that pie on that chart was huge. I haven't seen that chart lately, but I bet you it's a lot smaller because you get the occupancy tax to pay for the tourism that's
It pays
going
it in
on.
full. Occupancy tax revenue pays the entire tourism department,
So that's
all
not paying,
employees
that's
and
not,
everything.
so that's what I'm saying, we're helping bring in occupancy tax dollars, so you don't have to pay for tourism events. Does
They
that,
bring in well over $8 million and, Thurman brings in 32,000. That's the total that we bring.
into our town, but, right,
And we
but
get
with
more
the
than
town,
that back.
we get, yes,
We get, well, yeah, every town does. Every town gets a certain percentage. 25% of it goes to the town. So
Not every town gets more back than they put in. We do.
yeah, they get more back. We get more back compared to what we put in.
Right.
They get more back because the people that come here stay there.
That's a
That makes
different
sense.
metric.
That makes
doesn't-
sense.
No, that doesn't
Yeah.
work.
But that money has then been given back to us from the area where they're sleeping.
Yes,
I'm just for clarification.
So the
It's a big-
50,000 is part of what
What the
comes in as a
whole,
whole.
right,
The whole county,
right.
yeah.
So we still are doing better than we were in the past. Is that my understanding? I'm sorry.
No, we're getting the same, it's the same, 30,000.
But I mean, more of the town money isn't going out. It's all coming from occupancy tax now.
That funds it,
That funds it.
yes.
Okay, so we're not putting out as much individually with our taxes or any. It's all coming from the whole Warren County. Is that what I'm
Yes.
understanding?
Warren
Okay.
County,
So we're still making out better than we were. And are we? I mean,
we've had the same 30,000 for years.
50,000.
50,000.
Well, 50 with the extra, we didn't always get that though, in 2022
Okay,
we did.
okay. I was just asking
We
for
also
clarification.
we also get sales tax. A substantial amount of sales tax comes from the county every year on the order of 500 and some thousand. And Thurman, when people come to Thurman, they generate sales tax in town.
Okay, that's good to know.
So do you have to collect sales tax as a business?
Yes.
Yeah,
If you're
and
selling-
short-term rentals now pay it
If you're
too.
selling stuff, yeah.
Although
That's
they are
also-
discussing, that sales tax on the short-term rentals was, one county chose to use that money to fund the EMS. And I know that was discussed at the county level to use the sales tax from only short-term rental sales tax to pay EMS, to give the towns a break on what we pay the EMS, so that could work out to our advantage too. Yeah?
It was just brought up, but I just wanna make a comment that it's been said that these events don't benefit the town. And I think that it should be clarified by what you're meaning is it doesn't add directly to the town coffers. It does benefit the town, and it benefits all the businesses that are in TCA. It benefits everyone who lives here, and people come here because they see the advertising for these great events. Thurman is not a destination station, let's face it, right? You're not gonna randomly find yourself here. You come here because there's an event that's been advertised. You enjoy yourself at that event. You say next year, let's come back, or let's find other events, let's find other businesses. It's
Right.
kind of like the gateway drug.
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
exactly what I want to have, is
But
New
let me,
ones.
please let me finish. You stated, a couple of you stated that these events do nothing for the town. But again, I think that statement is it doesn't directly add to OT to the town coffers.
it doesn't bring in revenue to the town. It doesn't.
It does
overall
through sales
revenue.
tax.
Hmm?
It does through sales tax. And it builds people wanting to come back to this area, to
For-
these businesses that are in TCA. So it's helping the people of the town who are the town. The town is not a bank. It's not just the account of money. I think that's important to remember here is that these are events to benefit the town, and the town is the residents, not the money in an account.
And maybe this doesn't have to be an either or, I think we've been painting it as that, that either we do this or we do that. And it looks to me as though we could do both, and I might be wrong, because I'm bad with numbers, but it looks to me like we could do both, like we could fund the Fall Farm Tour just this year at the full amount requested, do Old Homestead,
And advertise it at the fall, sorry. No, but I was gonna say, we talk about other businesses, when people come into ours, like, we don't have something, we tell them where they can go and get it, or we're having the fall, I told everybody when they came in to our sugar house, that we have another event in the fall. Oh, you do? And we tell them about that, but we would also tell them about, I mean, other things too, like, that'd be great to have more people
and
in the for the app to
Exactly.
bring people, that would get us on the map more. What I'm saying is that would make people downstate more aware that we're here and we're just a short jaunt away for a day trip or an overnight or a long weekend. So I know that when with the advertising done this past year was amazing for our event, for everybody's events.
Why
So
was
if we
it
could bring more, we had so many people just coming and asking that had never been before. It was a lot of new people. So the more new people we can bring in, I'm thinking, and then tell them about, or have them on this app, or I don't know how that would all work with that, so I don't know. But to bring more people into the area to come and say, hey, let's go back. They've got a great event coming up. the next event coming up. You know, I mean, that would be just my thought on it, is the more people we reach, the faster we reach them, the more people will be able to come to all of the events, because I think they're all very important.
Mm-hmm. Is Old Home Day more for the communities than it is for tourists?
It's just like, sort of like the Smoke Eaters Jamboree, it's huge, but it won't be for fundraiser like theirs is for the fire department. I've never been to one, all I know is people are asking if we could do it again.
Carnival-like atmosphere?
Yeah, like a mini carnival, they had tractor pulls and, you know, different kind of games, they had a dunking booth, they listed.
But all on one site, right? Not
It'd be
around
here.
town?
Yeah, it'd be here.
Okay.
They did it from
I-
the road all the way up to the rec field.
Wow.
When did they do that? The last one I went to, Old Home Day, was probably 7 easy ups. And that was it. There was no entertainment, nothing. They were just people selling their jams and jellies and quilts and things like that.
The
It
original,
was-
the original home day, probably Carol and I are the only two that ever really attended it, was back in the sixties.
Well, this one was when
And it.
Bud and I first
Yeah, I
came
remember-
here.
Remember that one.
It
I
was
went to
like a
something.
bust.
I went to something up there that was like an artisan craft thing. There were people there selling stained glass and wood carvings and decoys and like all kinds of stuff up there, but that wasn't Old Home Day, that was something else. I don't remember what it was called, I was pretty new here then. Yeah?
I like Deb's point. I don't think this has to be TCA or the observatory. Like, I think there can be a path forward that all of these really good ideas could be accomplished for the town. It's the time frame in which they're accomplished and more consideration going forward in the budget for these larger events to get funding elsewhere through the county.
And it would be fun to support that,
Absolutely.
frankly. I'd like it.
The more events we have in town, the more people come in, the more people that shop
Exactly.
And that was discussed
Right.
at the last meeting was, I know when we said this at the last meeting, if we can get the money this year, then next year, Maple Days, Fall Farm Tour, all of that would be requested through the county, and a significant amount of money would become available within the town's OT to pay for these other great things.
But if I wanna start doing stuff with the other 2 capital projects, and I need $12,000 for the, observation building, and that pavilion costs $50,000, and I need 25 for that, that's 35,000. Now I'm really dipping into having enough for next year, so my vote is gonna be no to the
But
fund.
is the-
But wait a
is
minute,
the
you're
timeframe-
talking next year, look, we're talking this
I'm talking
year.
about now, I'm talking about
Why do
calling
you
up
have to
somebody and
all-
ordering a building. I'm talking about
So you
getting
wanna get
started.
that done
Getting
in
it started,
2025?
yeah, I wanna get it, because if that happens next year, I'm only gonna, we've already spent almost $50,000, which would be our annual amount. We've already spent that. So, it's not unlimited funding, I mean, $50,000 and 26 is gone, so, okay, we have what, 14,000 left then?
Where did we spend $50,000 this year on, with occupancy tax? It was-
18,000 on Maple Days, 8,000 on the summer concerts, 8,000 already for Fall Farm Tour. And we also did those small events, there was 1,600 for one, 3,200 for one, 1,500 for another one. I mean, I could just do math, I didn't go.
I tried in my head.
I can't.
I didn't get there, sorry.
No.
3,200 there, 1,500 there, 1,600 there, and 48,300.
Do we need that? Once it's done, it's done.
And how
When
much
we
is
made
still
it.
sitting in the,
So it would be a one.
Probably about 60, I think, but again,
about
we-
60,000?
It was every year now.
Oh, okay.
And we're scheduled to get another 20,
we'll get another 20.
that's 80.
So we spent
80 and 50 to
No, no.
start the new year.
No, we will have 80 when we get, we've got 60 in the account now, she said, of fund balance of OT,
Okay.
and there will be 20 more added to it this fall, so we will have $80,000 prior to the end of this year.
To start
To start next year with.
No,
Right.
before.
No, we'll need that to get through to next October,
Cause okay.
you know.
But we're gonna get another 30,000 next spring. We get 30 in the spring and then 20 in the fall, right?
No, I think the 30 is in October. 30 we get in October.
Oh, then we will have 90. So when do we
I'm not
get,
sure
when do we
that's
get to
right.
20?
That's not right. We're gonna get to 20 soon. I just approved that. I just voted for that at the county, so, I would think,
I thought 30 was the initial installment that every town gets,
it is,
then the 20 comes later.
yes.
Okay.
But-
So if we have 60 now and
And the-
we're gonna get 20, that means we'll have 80. And okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
So we,
very well soon could have $110,000. And again, if TCA is gonna try to shift their funding requests from the town's OT to the county's OT starting next spring, they're asking for essentially a little bit of that $110,000 right now.
That's just speculation,
There's
you
not
can't
there's
guarantee
not
what's
that
going
much
to
going on.
apply for the county.
And I wanna
Yeah.
also say that from what I understand, county would want us to still get some funds from our local area. So it wouldn't be the full amount, it might be that 80% we get from the county, for example. So,
And along that thought, we've already done 26,000.
oh God, you threw numbers at me.
Sorry.
That's this
Look at
year,
them all the time.
that's this year, not next year though.
right, and I have a question on that, that would be, the big part of the development would be this year, and from that point on, it wouldn't cost us that amount.
Right.
It would just be a little, I'm just asking, I don't, I just wanna understand where, so we wouldn't have to ask for as much money even.
Right, this was a,
Yeah, but
It's a more of a upfront, do this, and then
It's like you buy a pavilion, you don't have to buy it every year.
right.
right, okay, so it's a one-time this, and then it would be more of a maintenance fee at that point, it wouldn't be that amount every year.
But it does seem to, because in the past, that was what was said, we're gonna get this new website, we're not gonna need this again. And now, yes,
But we
we're
had a
gonna
very
need this and more.
successful, I'm sorry, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
I'm sorry about that, that was rude.
I just,
Right, but when we had the right person doing it, which I think we had this year, was fantastic. We saw so many new faces. And so we know we've got someone who knows how to do this. I don't know anything about the past ones or anything like that. But there were so many people brought in that were new faces this year that had never been.
Perky and I did it prior to Brian, and I mean, we don't know anything about it, but we did it.
But we have a with
Now
a
we've got a
professional.
professional, and I mean,
And it,
to compare what Perky and I did
okay.
for our talent, what we did was this. I mean, Brian's this, and
Right.
and he's this with this amount of money. I mean, what he's charging us, what we're asking for to have him do for us is we're giving him this and he's giving us this.
I just also want to say about anything about technology is when somebody tells you, we're gonna buy this tech and it will be good forever,
It's, no,
you've never had that happen.
no,
Nobody's ever had that happen.
right.
But it can be good for a long time.
I think I'm just gonna take one more and then we're gonna stop and vote.
Okay, I was just wondering if there's a time, like, towns aren't supposed to sit on the occupancy tax money, right? It's supposed to be dispersed.
Exactly, that's what I wanna do, disperse it. Yeah. Okay, so, any other discussion with board members, or are we ready to vote? Okay, call roll call.
What is the total you're coming up with for this?
My vote is gonna be no. Do you want a number?
No, I was just wondering, if they want a number, you want a number, you gotta vote on a number or just?
My vote is I don't wanna spend any more money.
You've got to disperse it.
award an additional funding of no money, 0.
I've got one other question. I know you voted, so that's it. Now, you had indicated both in June and July's meeting that you would encourage the individual farms, the individual sites to ask for a separate occupancy tax grant, like you did the Way of the Willows. So are you going to accept individual
Let me
occupancy?
just vote and then we could do that.
Okay, certainly.
Okay, so, all in favor, say aye.
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 Wait, I thought we were doing a roll call.
Oh, we could do a roll call, but
We're
no.
not, so, wait, I couldn't tell who said aye. What do,
We all did, and Randy, I guess, is
I'm
abstaining.
recusing myself.
so we have, everybody else said aye, I don't think,
Yeah.
I thought I heard one aye.
No, we all said aye.
You all said aye, okay, so we have a accused. We have, everybody else is an aye.
Everybody else voted to award 0.
Who voted, okay, here we go.
That's McDonald now.
Okay.
So what was your question about, in June? Oh, for people to apply?
Yeah, you had encouraged the sites to apply separately for their own grants. So can the sites now apply for them?
And that came about when I had the complaints of unfairness, that, well, they felt that they were denied the banner and the Porta-John and all that stuff, and so that's what their money went toward.
Wait,
That's, remember we had a conversation and I told you that there had been complaints that people felt they were denied the banner, the Porta-John, the newspaper ad and the small little signs, and I said, why would that be? And you told me that you don't cover any of that stuff, so that's what the money we awarded to those individuals. They had a name of an event that they did and asked for those things. So that's what's on their expenditure report. And then when you said at the last meeting that if we got 1,600 from all 10 people, it would have been less for us to give you what you asked for, but the point was, they wanted it for things that they couldn't get. So that's what they used it for. All 3 of them, that they used it for advertising.
all three
and
of who?
all 3 people that were members of TCA that asked for funds.
You've got more than one of the sites that are in TCA that are in the Fall Farm Tour asking for.
I don't think they're in the Fall Farm Tour anymore. They have a name of their event, and they requested funding, and the reason they did that was to get a Porta-John or signs or a newspaper or a banner. And it came about because they tried to get a banner and they were told they couldn't have one, so then they came and complained to me, and I said, well, apply on your own.
Wow, since none of the other farms can get banners, we
Victoria?
should apply to
As
these.
far as, I believe we're talking about the Way of the Willow, they are, I had a discussion with Pam and they're not interested in being on the tour, after the list of demands they received Sunday evening. So that will obsolete that argument point there. They got money on the Fall Farm Tour and it should be granted to each event and they're not gonna be a part of that event.
Their money was individual.
It is
It
individual,
was
it's their
for
own
Way of
separate
the
event.
Willow. It wasn't Fall.
Granted, it may be
None
on the
of them
same
are
day.
Fall Farm Tour.
Right, they're not part of the Fall Farm
They're their own name and their own event. They're new events, in other
Yes.
words, which is what I wanna see, new events.
Yes, so I just wanted to throw that out there.
So if you wanna have an event, you can.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, you can have an event.
Okay, when the Way of the Willow's event was presented for a grant, at that time it was assumed that and known that they were gonna be part of the Fall Farm Tour, so the grant was,
Oh, not to me, it wasn't.
I told you at the meeting.
Yeah, you told me,
it
but
was
that's
to
not
us.
what she told me. She was having her own event. It's gonna be up at the rec field, and it's called Way of the Willow. I would imagine it's the same day, though. I don't know, but yeah.
It's the same day, and I've got an email where they asked that they wanted to be in it, but apparently they're not going to anymore. But when the grant was issued by the board, I told the board that they were part of the Fall Farm Tour because they had requested it.
They were at that time.
Well, they're not now. I know she's not now. Okay. So I only have one more thing to discuss, and it involves what we just talked about with a meeting.
Can I ask, just want to say one
Sure.
thing? I know that we didn't have privilege of the floor for this discussion, and I just wanted to thank you for letting us do that.
I'm pretty open about that stuff. It don't bother me at all. I kind of think it should be that way. I always felt that when I was in the audience, it should have been that way, so.
Well, I appreciate it.
I have this letter here that we have to figure out what we're gonna do. It involves the cemetery. Apparently there's a conflict with a plot. So I know that it's not anything we need to vote on or anything, but I was thinking, Randy, that maybe I should talk to Sue Baker and get all those records from her and see what we can do. We do, but they're conflicting. Remember, we had to put the ad in the paper that if anyone had a letter that said they had a plot and they weren't on the map, they had to come in within so many 60 days to tell us. Well, we have a person who has a plot. There's nobody in that plot, which helps. But it's next to someone who has also that plot.
Yeah.
So we have two people for one plot.
I was wondering if any were.
There is a map. Sue Baker has a map. Yeah, but the map is not updated, so as those people brought in their letters, it showed us that, oh yeah, I paid for this plot. Sue wrote them in, but we now have a case here where this woman has 5 plots and there's somebody claiming one of them. And it has markers, but there's nobody buried there, so we probably won't be too bad to give somebody a different plot. So, yeah,
So what's your question to me?
about the survey. Well,
I'm just waiting for you because, like we talked about at the last meeting, we need to set up a meeting with the surveyor.
Will he know who's where, or do I need to get all the records from, that's my question, should I get all the records
No,
from?
they located all the plots. I don't know if they put names with them, but they surveyed the location of all of them.
Okay,
So, but there are conflicts. There's a conflict with the boundary around the entire cemetery, but there's also a conflict between the arrangement of some of the plots.
that's on the
So
survey?
I think step one for us is to talk to the surveyor, because he needs guidance from us, what we want him to do to resolve some of these conflicts. So I think that's step one. Then we'll have a base map to work from, and we can take the information that we have and apply it to that map.
Okay, so my schedule is pretty much open after today for about 2 weeks, so if you want to look
So you
at
want me to contact the surveyor and set something up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
The only thing I have is Tuesday on the 5th, the insurance people are coming here to talk to me. Other than that, I'm free. So the quicker we get the cemetery stuff done, the better. Because we can't sell plots until we know where the people are.
Yes.
Thank you.
Question. I came to hear about the assessors tonight mainly for what you, and I found out that listening to you, that's a civil service job. Is
The
there,
assessor position, yes.
is there a number that goes with that for yearly salary, or do you pay
Well, I
the
think-
guy that, for his knowledge? I mean, is
It would be based on experience, I would think,
Experience.
yeah. And at least we will know before the budget, so that's a good thing. Okay, I'm ready.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Who made the second? Charles.